People expect that when you're in a triangle, all parties, like, they have to be equal length. No, it doesn't have to be.
Friendship evolves, it changes. It doesn't mean that, we are taking each other for granted. It just means that we are changing, we are evolving.
But I just made it clear, just be fair and considerate. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode on the Truth and Tales podcast with your favorite host, Yemi and
Victoria.
Yay! The ever glowing, glorious sister, Mrs. Fash, Victoria.
Whoa. What's there?
Anyways, we are back again with another interesting conversation for you guys. How have you guys been? Thank you all for your love, your support on this channel. We know we have been on and off, not being consistent, but don't worry, guys.
I think we have been trying. We've been trying.
We've been trying, Abby. See. But anyways, thank you guys for always being here. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe. Click on that subscribe button and go over our previous episodes so that you will know what we always, the way we do it on the channel. Okay. Yes. Without wasting much of our time, today we have a truth tale, but it's an interesting conversation anyway. And it's one about friendship, friendship hurt, friendship breakup, everything about friendship. That's what we're talking about today. Oh yeah, Victoria, give it to us. Okay. What are we talking about? Give us the cool, the cue.
Anyways, hi guys. So yes, remember, I know if you're in Nigeria and you follow social media or Instagram or Instant blog to be precise, you probably came across this story sometime in your timeline, and it's about Chef Hilda Baci. Most of you know her as the lady who won the cooking marathon, the cookathon, recently, right? Yes. So there was a story that came out, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, about this lady who happens to be, I think a lot of people know them as best of friends. I think maybe before the whole cookathon thing, I don't really know the backstory, but she was best of friend with this business lady. I can't remember her name now, but I think that during the course of their friendship, the business lady had another friend called Amma, right? And then I think she introduced her friend to Hilda Baci, and then the three of them kind of became friends, so to speak. And then I think in the course of the friendship, the kind of the new person that she introduced and Hilda became sort of best friend, always posting on Instagram, my bestie, I would die for you, I wish Shekiniko. And then and then eventually they kind of relegated her, who was the best friend to Hilda Baci before the introduction came up. So I think she came and she did a live video and she was talking about how she was unable to sleep, how it was affecting her mental health, and she was pregnant at the time. She was always crying, every time she saw and the lady would constantly post her own best friend, who is now like how the lady's best friend, like Amma, would continually post Hilda Baci on her status, on her Instagram page, saying my bestie, and it was getting to her to the point where she had to approach the Amma lady, the one who, the Amma, the one who was introduced, the introducee, that can you stop posting this, your friendship and all of those things is beginning to get to me and all of that. And of course the lady ignored her, and she will continually post about their friendship together, they going to club together, going to party together, and doing all those things together. Basically they became bestie, and they started calling themselves bestie, right? And then I think she also approached Hilda and told her that, listen, I know you guys are close and stuff, but can you stop posting too much about yourself, because it's really making me feel bad and I feel left out in this friendship. And Hilda's response was that, because I love you does not mean I cannot have space in my heart for Amma. So it became a controversy, like, because I'm your best friend, does that mean that I cannot be best friend with somebody else? And I think one of the biggest things, that people kept saying was, I can't believe a grown woman, right, would come on social media talking about somebody snatched my best friend, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And a few people came, a lot of people actually came to say that the people who are saying this is because you have not experienced friendship hurt, and being in a three-way friendship. And I think we've actually talked about this sometime on this channel, being in a three-way a friendship, and how sometimes the dynamics can change and you might end up being the one who is left out, right? So let me ask you, Evie, have you, before we even go into this situation, because I think that is something that a number of people can relate, to. If you've ever been in a 3-way or 4-way relationship, friendship, where you feel like you are the least. Because you see, in every friendship, there's always like hierarchy as to if anything happens.
Yes.
You know. So where you now, especially when you are the one who now feels like you are the least person, right? So have you ever been in such a situation?
I think I've been in such a situation, and people that have not been there, I really, admire you. But more often than not, I've been, the one that was introduced that then took over the bestie position.
So you are the alpha of this story.
More often than not, on few cases,
Okay.
I know there's one particular case that the other person might say I came and stole the friend from her. I know one particular case like that, and then I've also been on the side where I and another person were close, and one person I just kind of introduced, like, I don't know, the other person met this girl and then they just became best of friends, and you wouldn't even know that
it was you who introduced them.
Probably, I wouldn't say I wasn't like introduced. It just happened that they met, or I don't even know how to put it in that way, but let's say we all met. I was getting closer to this person first. We were kind of gelling, we were, talking more. And this other person was just there. And then all of a sudden, they started to connect more. And then it was just like, you go and sit that somewhere. And when I noticed that they started to connect more, I just kind of withdrew myself immediately. Like, I just kind of withdrew. And I think it's just the thing with me naturally that when I notice that somebody is trying to give me breakfast, I will quickly give myself breakfast because I don't want it to be that it's you that will give me the breakfast. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I kind of quickly withdrew myself from the equation, and but I've been there, and I quickly removed myself from that equation because I didn't want to get to a place that this lady's own got to, where you would not be like, you not be seeing them, you not be like, friend snatcher, you not be, because it can really hurt.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It can really hurt. Like, you and this person used to share things, you used to talk about certain things, and then you seeing that person, you're probably imagining things. Okay, maybe the level with which you used to talk, the way I used to confide in you, the way you used to confide in me. Now you're dealing with another person. Right? So I just always feel like it does hurt. So I've been there before, but more often than not, like, if I can count the number of times I've been in like a tri-cycle friendship, I've been the one that was introduced more than I was the one that, I think it's just this one time that I can remember having this friend that somebody came to take, but more often than not, I'm always the one that was introduced, and then.
So have you ever been in an awkward situation? Like, how do you feel when it seems like you are snatching somebody's friend?
To be honest, I don't feel anything. To be honest, I think it's like the armor that they told. Desist from your bad ways, and she refused to hear one. I think that might have been me, to be honest. To be honest, but the thing is, okay, let me be serious now. I didn't care just because I felt like my relationship with her doesn't really affect
your relationship with her.
It's not on me. I feel like it's not on me to mend your relationship. Like, for example, okay, with this, let me give an example now. So we had this tricycle situation back in uni, right? And the interesting thing is that, so my friend now, my bestie now, and this lady, they met. And they were friends for like a whole year before I came into the picture. Now myself and my bestie, we had already met because we kind of like there was a kind of like family connection there, but we were not talking. We just knew each other, but it wasn't. We were not really like friends per se, but we've just seen each other before. So it just happened that I went to, both of them were in University of Abuja, right? They had been friends, they've cultivated this close friendship. They were besties, like people knew them together. And then I came into the picture, and then me and my friend started to live together. But the old friend, they practically did everything together in the first year of school, right? But when I came and I joined them in 200 level, when I came, I now started to live with this person. So kind of because we had that much room every day, we like seeing each other, we now became close. But I didn't think that because we are now close. In fact, my friend tried to like she made me become friends with that other person as well, because normally I don't think I would have gone to, like, at that phase of my life I wasn't going to look for friends. I didn't make friends of my own for a very long time. It was mostly our own friends that were like my own friends. So if she didn't put that a friend on me, or if we were in kind of, if she wasn't friends with that person, I don't think we would have been in a tricycle kind of. So I just felt like both of you should work it out. It's not on me. Like it's not on me. So many times we'll be trying to trash issues out in the middle of the night. I'll be like, well, that's people's business. Like I just felt like it's not on me. So I don't know. I might have disregarded anybody's feelings.
I get that.
But
I get that, but I get it. I get your point, to be honest, because me, for instance, I've always been in a three-way relationship, right? Right from young age, I've always had three, right? And most often than not, I've always been the one that is not necessarily, I've always been the least person, like in hierarchy, in the friendship, right?
The other two, let's just pull
the other two always seem to be more, to be closer to themselves than I am. So for instance, when I was younger, right, I only had two childhood best friends, so to speak, Joy and Tosin, but the two of them seem to have more in common than I did. There were a lot of things that they were exposed to that I was not exposed to. I did not care to be exposed to. Like for instance, they had boyfriends at the time before me. I even knew what boyfriend was or even had interest in it. Like they had a lot of things that they could talk about and all of that, and me, I would just be like a spectator because I didn't really have a lot to contribute. So obviously their friendship and their bond kind of grew stronger than mine. Secondly, my parents when I was growing up, did not really allow me to go to people's houses to become friends with them, or to go and visit friends, to have I had a very strict background, so we only got to like be together either when my mom was at work and I quickly go there, or when we're in school, right? However, the other two, they had more flexible parents who allowed them to like be together. So a lot of things made it in such a way that even though we call ourselves three best friends, we're not really as close. I was not really as close to either of them the way they were close to each other. So there will be times I will be having conversations and it's things that they've talked about and I feel left out because I feel like I'm not privy to this, but they've spoken about it already, right? And okay, so when I now moved on from that friendship, I don't think I was ever in a three-way until university. And the reason was, I met these two people. They came in September admission. I was January admission. They were already roommates. They were best friends. They've been roommates for like 4 months, Balaji and Christy, before I came into the equation. So obviously when I came, they were living together. I was living like apart. I would always have to come to their house, and we were able. It was even me and Balaji that ended up becoming that started talking, and then we became friends, and then I visited her. Christy, on the other hand, did not like me for some reason. She just felt like my presence irritated her. Right? But funny enough, during that friendship, me and Christy ended up becoming even closer than I and Bolaji. But obviously she and Bolaji shared a lot of history and closeness together that I could not even be.
More conversation.
More conversation. But you see, the way I see it is, in certain instances, me and B will be closer. For instance, we attend the same church. Christy did not attend the same church as us. So on Sunday, we always got to catch up, hang out, come to my house. I cook lunch and all of that, and then she goes back to her house and she spends Monday to Friday with Chris, right? So obviously there are times that I always felt like I was the outsider in this friendship. There were a lot of times like that, because they will be discussing stuff that I didn't know, or and then I'm trying to catch up with them, and sometimes and there are times also, you see, that me and Christy felt like we were outsider in Bolaji and her best friend's friendship, because Bolaji has a best friend that was not us.
Okay.
See, friendship is something else. So she had a childhood friend, that was not in Ghana at the time, right? But they were very close. That person would hear first thing about anything that goes on in Bolaji's life before we hear about it. So that's just to tell you that, you see, one thing, those relationships, and I think my friendship from childhood really taught me to have more tough skin. My relationship with my other friends growing up has kind of made me realize that, okay, when it comes to friendship, sometimes some people will be closer. But I'll tell you, it's not every time that I handled it as a matured person. Like, I remember there are times that, I don't think I cried. in that instance. But there's been time that I have after when we were even in school, because I felt like, oh, the two of them were more closer than, you know, I was to them and stuff like that. I know there was one time like that it really got to me. But there was a time that both myself and Chris, we felt this was now like a 4-way relationship. But the only problem was I and Chris were not friends with the fourth person.
Right.
You get? So it's like my best friend has a best friend kind of situation, right? And I remember there was a time, I think Bill was writing a book, I can't remember, and then I think the other person knew about, or she was trying to do something. I don't know if it was a book that she was writing or something. We just got to know like in the very, very last minute, and then we got to realize that she already told this other person and stuff like that. And it was I know we had that one issue, but I think that with age and maturity you get to realize that like friendship has dynamics. People and I think, you know, when I also now moved, you see, that's the other thing, right? And that's why, you know, I started by saying that my first friends, they had things in common that I did not have with them. And it's the same thing with this Hilda Baci case, because Hilda and the other lady, they are both single, they are unmarried. They carried the best friend, the initial bestie. She's married. She's a family woman. She's even pregnant. You know, there are a lot of things that Hilda is at least from what we see on social media, she's a very social person. She likes to go to the club, do this, chop life and all of that. And the other lady seems to also be that way. But you as the married woman, you cannot do those things. So, right? So it comes with understanding that, okay, I cannot be like the first 3-way relationship that, you know, that I was in, they had a lot of things in common. I would not, because of I want to be able to contribute about boyfriends and all those things, I'm not going to start dating somebody. Like, it didn't make sense to me. So it was just a matter of understanding that, okay, they have more in common than I do. So maybe God brought me into their life to bring them together. You get that kind of situation, right? But it doesn't also mean that it's easy. Right? So for me, it was just understanding that, okay, these people, they've grown up together, they are more like sisters. They are not even friends, right? They are like sisters. I cannot be comparing what I have with her with what she has with this person. The dynamics of the relationship, you know, it differs, right? But however, we had to come to a point where we had to have that conversation. For me, and again, you see, when I got married, it became a problem too. Or when I started, you know, when I started staying, when I got married, basically, it became a thing of, oh, I've now, because
you don't
now
have
I'm
enough
married,
time for them.
I'm now, I don't have enough time for them. You see, so in every stage in life. And then when I moved to the US, right, because now B was in
time zone.
UK, Chris is in Turkey, me, I'm in Kiniko. I remember the very first time the first few weeks that I moved to the US, Chris will always, like, not only Chris, even, like, we'll always have, like, the three of us always have disagreements about, we are not talking as much, what's going on, oh, you have a husband, so it's easier for you, oh, but nobody's checking on me or say, because when you travel to a new country, things will happen, right? And you need your friends to be there for you. But we realized that, first of all, time difference was a big deal. I was 6 hours away from Nigeria. Chris was 9 hours away from Nigeria. B was more or less in Nigerian time. So we could not find a time that everybody could be there. And there were times in my life that I really needed someone to be there. And guess who was there for me? It was Mercy, because she was literally like there.
The proximity.
Anytime I was facing anything, I would call her. She would come drive straight to my house, to be there for me. And before you know what's happening, we started to build more solid friendship that I had with my 3 best friends.
Yeah.
Okay, even though they are still, like, I still consider them my closest friend. I keep saying best friend because we are talking best friend. To be honest, I don't have best friend. I have close friends.
I'm best friend.
But I could say, I could say that, during that period, if you are to say who is my best friend in this season of my life, I would say she's the one. Even though I still have friends that, I mean, when I was still in Duet, like, every week we'll talk. And when we start talking 3 hours, me, Christy, and Balaji, we'll find time to talk on weekends. And the moment we start talking 3 hours, we are still on the call. Just gisting about life, gisting about things and all of that. So, but I think that if it was when we were still in school, we'll probably have issues with the fact that I was closer to Mercy, But I think that the 3 of us just got to that point where we realized that, okay, one of us are in certain stages or points in our lives where, we are just in different times and seasons in our lives where we'll most likely form bonds with other people. So if B comes here and she has friendship with somebody and I go there, you need people that are close to you, right? So I think with maturity just came that realization that, oh, it's okay for you to, you know, to look at other people that you have interest, you know, in. But it, like you said also, it doesn't have to affect the dynamic of our relationship. It doesn't. So it was a matter of when we were together, it was easy for us to build the bond. But now that we are separated, it is just a matter of redefining, you know, our relationship so that somebody does not feel left out and someone does not feel hurt, right? But again, this is not to, you know, demean what this lady was going through, because friendship hurt is real. You know, because she had to block the lady, she blocked both the Amma and the Baci. She literally cut ties with them because she felt like, okay, this is really affecting my mental health. And I don't even think there's anything wrong in what she did, because sometimes you just need to put yourself first. If you feel like, and you need to also understand that people's temperaments are different. Like in our friendship now, the person that always fights with us the most is Chris, right? And the reason is because Chris is a more sensitive person than me, and Bolaji she can be very, very carefree at a point. Me, I think I'm the balance in the middle. If I do say so myself.
If you do say so yourself, exactly. Because we need to bring them to the panel to ask them now.
My sister Chris will constantly, like, if we are not talking, she will call every single person out. She would like lash out on us. One day she has even left the group chats. She's so intentional about us. And even though the fact that I don't react, like there are times that I felt hurt in our friendship, I'll most likely talk to my husband again, because I have someone who is, you know, the dynamics of our relationship is just different, you see, with age, right? But you see, and that's why I think that for this lady, I empathize with her, because I can understand the hurt, you know, feeling left out, feeling like, oh, I introduced you to this person and all of a sudden the two of you are now close and all of that. But again, like I said, it's also understanding the seasons of life that you're in and, you know, the dynamics of their friendship. So because she takes them to club, she goes to party and all of that, I cannot do that. But in what other capacity can we maintain this our own relationship? But again, not everybody has the temperament to be able to, you know, handle that. And well, sorry, I've been talking too much, but I want to ask a question. Do you think that now, if you are in a relationship with somebody now, and okay, I'm sure that you have, you know, of course you have your bestie and all of that, right? So imagine that, you know, you now start to form bond of friendship with somebody else, like me, for instance. Now I know that we have our dynamic of our own friendship. Do you think that it is by force that your other friend must know this other friend? Like, do you believe in three-way, all your friends being in one circle?
No, I absolutely don't believe in that. I don't think, like, for example, now, you know, with what you said, it's okay to pursue other relationships, but you don't have to enforce it on other people. Like, and I think that's one of the reasons why myself and the other third person now, we have our own different kind of relationship. That is aside from the relationship. It's not the same friendship I have with this third person, right? So let me just mention their name. It was AY, Kenny, and myself, right? The relationship I have with Kenny is different from the relationship I have with AY, right? So, and it's not like I don't like any one of them. It's not like I love anyone less. It's just very different, right? I've lived with Kenny, I've lived with AY, and I know they are both personalities. And to be honest, there are things that I would share with Kenny that I wouldn't share with AY. There are things that I can share with AY that I wouldn't share with Kenny. That's just the way, because I know both of them. And I might not share it with them at the same time. They may eventually know in the future. I might not share it with them. For example, let me give an example now. I know Kenny to be one that is like, she's very emotional. She's very... If you're going through something, if somebody's hurting you, she can, like, she takes her friends seriously. She can carry your matter on your head and her head, right? So if there's something that I don't need somebody to act, if I don't want my friend to come and quickly go and help me to punch somebody, I will take my time on telling her. But at that point, I need to share with somebody. Maybe I'll just quickly tell it to AY, because I know, if my friend carry this matter on her head, his war is in the boski, you know. I may eventually tell her, and then by then at least mitigation would have mitigated, because I know she would really like be very emotional about it, right? So that's just the way it is. But then they also have their own dynamics. I know there are certain things that she will tell AY that she wouldn't tell me. I know that for a fact, and I'm not interested in knowing. That's the truth. I really don't want to know, because I know myself. Like, for example, but when we're in uni, like I come off as very judgmental, because there's just a standard I feel like like a young lady should operate in. So if she does something that she doesn't want, like our friends to judge her, she wouldn't tell me. She would rather go and tell AY, because AY. And the interesting thing is
that's the Bolaji in our friendship.
She wouldn't tell me. She would go and tell the AY. AY would go and
yeah.
You'll be yes. Later I might not be here. And I'll be like, she'll not be like So that's just it. And I also know AY to be somebody that has a lot of friends. She's bestie. She's the people that call her bestie, they can be 1 billion. They can be 1, and I used to make a joke to her, like,
that's
if
Christy.
you like, I'll tell her that if you like, have a lot of Mazda, Toyota, BMW, I know that I'm Benz. If you like, she'll be laughing. She'll be like, me, I don't used to stress my life about you have a bestie somewhere, you have I don't want to know what people are doing. I'm not interested. I don't know what she's telling you. I don't know what you're helping her with. I don't. If she decides to share what, maybe, to get advice that, oh, this my friend is going through this, what do you think? I'll share what I think should be best as based on my own personality, what I will do. I'll share it. She will know how she will not necessarily go and say, my friend said this to me. I don't really, to be honest, she has a lot of, I can't keep up. I cannot even keep up with her. Everywhere, friends. I've told her so many times, it's too much. I beg. Relax your life for Jesus. At the same time, Kenny is not someone that gathers friends like that. If she calls you her best friend, you will maintain her best friend for life. That's the kind of commitment she has when she calls you her friend, But I know that Kenny would not say I'm her best friend in quotes, but we are close friends and we are in this circle and I care about her. We have that understanding and we know. So when we catch up, we don't necessarily say, you 5 years ago you did not come. No, we just pick up as
where you left off.
It was yesterday we last talked. And when I'm sharing, and the interesting thing is, like you said, the dynamics are different. Myself and AY now, we are both married, we both have kids.
Yeah.
Initially, I was the first to get married. They were both single, they were closer. After some time, my friend got married. We kind of like, and then I even left the country again. So she was closer to another one of us that was, it just keeps changing. And I would say in the case of this, the Hilda Baci triangle, this lady that came out to call them out, she's obviously hot, and because of hormones. And I think that it's also important to handle this kind of things
properly, because I don't think Hilda and the lady, I don't think they handled it well.
Yes,
honestly.
If she's come to both of you and she says, I keep seeing you people doing this and it's affecting me, you don't know why she's even at that point of her life that she needs her friend, especially the one that she considers her best friend. If you feel neglected, because if she's going through hormones, who knows whatever it is that she's going through, that she feels like this is my best friend, and then seeing that best friend with another best friend, that you feel choked, you don't even know how to connect with her anymore. It can be more than what she's sharing, and plus she's at this state where every hormone is heightened, and she has reached out to you that, can you people tone it down? You people can still do all the things you are doing, snap, take photos, make videos, and keep it on your phone. You're just being considerate. It's just a matter of being considerate.
Oh, you even block her from your status. Like, if you have to, just try to do it in a way that she knows that, okay, you are considering my feelings.
Exactly. And this is one of the things I quickly learned, because I'm one person that I show love to people the way I feel like love should be. But I've learned that people want to accept love a different way. Because you are like this doesn't mean that's how the person wants to accept love. So you show love to people. You show that you value them the way they want to be appreciated, not the way you want to show that I appreciate you. Me, I might not tell you I love you, all those mushy. Like, it's just this today, this my naughty AY called me today, and after she was ending the call, just say, say I love you. I say, Hilda, I love you. So what, I mean, I'm not finished. But normally I wouldn't say that at the end of the call. But now she like all those drama. Me, I don't have time for those drama. Do you get? So my point is, you should, especially at that time, you don't have to rub it in her face. You people, both of you that are the single friends, one day you guys can decide to just show up at her house, take selfie, Don't put it on social media for the next few days. Make her feel
make it all about
social
her.
media. Make it all about her for a while. Let her feel like, okay, what you said about it. Like there was a time I just feel like, consider people. If you're in a triangle, you don't all have to be like the relationship between you and these three people doesn't have to be equal. No, people expect that when you're in a triangle, all parties, like, they have to be equal length. No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like a 180-degree triangle. I don't know mass and all of that, but it doesn't have to be the same length. It doesn't have to be the same kind of relationship. Three of you have decided to be friends. You kind of roll together, but you might be closer to this person, and that person might be. It's just the way it is, because, like you said, our temperaments, our personalities are different. So, and things will just not be the same. It's a cycle. So just be considerate of the other person and value each other. If you know that, I cannot be available for you at this phase, don't rub it in. Something happened between both of them at some point that I realized that, you are at fault here, and I made her see that, you did not value her in this instance, and she would not do that to you. I would have, want to support either of them, but I just made it clear. Just be fair and considerate. If you're in a triangle relationship, be fair, be considerate. Love one another the way you know that person wants to be loved. Don't expect that the triangle will be the same. Just have an open mind to the friendship. Love each other genuinely, not who is talking to who. And if your friend has pointed out that this is what she wants from you people, try to meet her halfway. You may not necessarily do everything, but try to meet her halfway. That's just what I think. So I don't think Hilda and the other Emma handled it well.
I think they could have been more mature in how they handle it. In as much as you yourself have to like manage your expectations in your friendship. When you see that friendship evolve, we've said it a lot of times on this channel. Friendship evolves, it changes. It doesn't mean that we are taking each other for granted. It just means that we are changing, we are evolving. The dynamics of our friendship changes, right? So but in as much as you work on yourself to have to understand the times or the place that people place you in their lives. You also, on the other hand, also have to be considerate of the other person's feelings in your friendship. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section. What do you think about this situation? Have you ever been in that situation before? What did you do? Do you think that she's justified, by asking them to stop doing what they're doing? Let us know everything that you think about the story in the comment section below. Thank you guys so very much for watching. We are so grateful to have you. Remember to subscribe if you haven't. Remember to like this video, leave a comment. Remember to share with your friends and your families, okay? So anyways, until we meet again, we still remain your favorite host, Victoria, and
Yemi, your hot, spicy Yemi.
Hot and spicy. Atarono.
Atarono, no tomato.
Oh, you people, goodbye.